Good evening. I'm here to show you how to clean the silt and sediment trap from your standard Moen removable head kitchen faucet. These are the original faucets that were in the Liberty when it was built, and many of the units still have these in place. What happens after a while, you'll notice that your pressure ends up looking more like that for your kitchen dishes, and your kitchen faucet is just not working like it should. And that's usually due to the fact that the one or both sediment filters here are clogged. And I'm going to show you how to take them apart and how to clean them up. The first thing we want to do is make sure, of course, if we're getting low pressure here, that we don't have a problem with the pressure underneath the sink here, that both water valves are turned on all the way, so you're getting full pressure available. So you can get inside underneath the sink there, and there are two hand taps there to turn them on, and of course you can know which way you're going, because if you happen to keep this on and turn it on cold, grab the one usually on the right, turn that off. One way is all the way closed, and of course you won't get it in cold water, and then the other way will be completely on. So we want to make sure that we have the sink covered. So you either have a filter, or in this case here we have the carburetor cover located on the top of that. If you don't have this, if you've lost this part, you can actually buy these from a hardware store, but we're just worried about parts falling into the sink, so we could take and put a towel down there, you could put a cup there. You can also just get a generic strainer, sink strainer there at the dollar store. First thing you want to do here is we take and remove the aerator from the handle. And the easiest way to do that, we can just take and loosen this part here counterclockwise and pull it out. There'll be a little bit of water there left over. We can see inside here we've got a large mesh here, and we have another mesh in the middle. Usually the larger mesh doesn't get clogged up because you don't use the aerator as much as you do as a standard sink. So usually that's pretty clean. But if you notice that is kind of dirty, you can take the whole thing out and clean it out. The middle part is easily removed by simply pressing up from the outside up, and then the middle aerator will come apart. There's also a little rubber seal that holds it in place. So this is the part that actually accumulates it. Now this should be blue and gray if they haven't replaced it with something else, and it should be clean. It should not be brown. It should not obviously be covered with rocks and sediment. So you can rinse it out here, or you can rinse it out in the bathroom sink if you're worried about losing the parts here. Make sure if you're doing the bathroom sink that you're actually taking and putting some, closing the sink up, putting the stopper in there so you don't lose the parts down in the sink. So this is the top part here. I can just push them back together and put this aside for a second. The second filter, which people don't generally know about, is located right here at the end of the gooseneck. And to take this apart, we simply take and twist this part here. Because it's a plastic fitting, it shouldn't be hard to do this. We should be able to just loosen that up by hand. You'll see a one-way valve in here. That's not it. Put this aside for a second. You'll see in this part here, there's actually a little filter here with a white ring around it and a metal mesh. And there's a couple ways we can get this filter out. The easiest way is to push this collar back against the gooseneck, and that will slide down here. And then I can take out the filter. But have a look at this guy here. It should be silver, but usually after a while it becomes brown or black and just covered with silt and dirt. So take this guy out, wash this on both sides, and we can push this back in here just by hand. Make sure it's seated all the way down. And then I can take by hand and put the wand back on the hose. Tighten this guy up. Again, not using any tools here, because these plastic fittings, they don't take kindly to have any sort of major torque put on them. So you should be able to get a nice seal without using any tools. And again, this part, I can just screw this back on the head without using any tools. And that's it. And we want to test this. Turn on the water. Make sure that we've got a good flow here. There's no leaks around the top. And also look down here, very important, because you may not notice if it's leaking down here and you put it back here. It'll drip down inside your sink, and then all of a sudden you have a big puddle inside underneath your sink, which is not so good. Make sure that's not leaking as well. And that's it.